ready?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening,
Good morning.
whatever it is, wherever you are. How are you this morning, Christopher?
How I am good, man. I am buzzing. It's gonna be an exciting day. Can't wait for everything to happen.
Yeah.
So many things. Got this exciting stream. Then we have some presentations to do to the division, and then we have I have two sessions in two different conferences back to back. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So by midday, I would have been talking for 6 hours nonstop.
Well, whatever it takes, right?
Whatever it takes. It's all for you guys, for the community, for our friends, for our developers. I mean, it's a pleasure to do that. I've done some crazy stuff before. I think the craziest one I've done, talking about crazy stories, I once flew to Israel for 18 hours to speak at a conference. So I flew in, and I could only stay for 18 hours because I had to get back to work. So I said to my wife, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So I flew from Glasgow to France. So via France, I flew straight to Israel, Tel Aviv. I landed. I went straight to the hotel, which I didn't spend more than 20 minutes in because I arrived there at like 8 a.m. I think it was 6 a.m. I was like, I'm not gonna go to bed now because if I go to bed now, then I'm not gonna be able to get up again. So I stayed up. I went to the conference. I did my session. I spent an excellent day with friends. And then by I think it was like 8 p.m., I had to pack up and get back to the airport. Which, by the way, I don't know if any of you have ever flown to Israel or had that experience, but it's super easy to get in. It's extremely hard to get out.
Why
Like
is
people
that?
said, you need to be at the airport 4 hours before your flight. I'm like, what? Can't be that hard. Anyway, I went there, and you go through proper interrogation as you go in. So Bolt.io sounds like my last relationship. Let's keep it PG over here. But yeah, I feel you. So, some of these relationships feel like that. Anyway, you go through proper interrogation. In fact, somebody gave me some stickers from the conference, and I was interrogated about what these stickers are, what they're for, who gave them to me, when, how.
Over
Like,
stickers,
guys, it's
really?
just stickers.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Like, did you take anything? Are you taking anything out of the country? That was the question. I said, I'm getting some stickers out. I met with a friend. We went for dinner, and they gave me some stickers. Literally, they had to call the supervisor. They opened my bag. They inspect everything. Obviously, I didn't have much. I had just my laptop, a ton of IoT stuff, and you know how they look very, very weird when they go through the scanner. Don't carry IoT stuff with you, like cables and breadboards and Raspberry Pis and a lot of cables because it's fun. Anyway, 2 hours before I could even check in. It was
You got
insane.
some enormous drug
But
stickers that you're carting through. I mean, could you
yeah,
imagine someone gets like an Azure sticker and it's the size of their forearm and it's like,
it's even worse if you have an Irish accent. Yeah, I could never pull that off. Like I could try.
oh man, that's funny.
Do you think a Scottish accent? Do you think a Scottish accent may have affected it? I don't know. Anyway, that was the craziest thing I've done in terms of community and public speaking.
Yeah.
18 hours return flight to Israel.
Years ago,
Oh yeah.
I had to go to Redmond for an EBC, right? So you
hmm
go and hang out with the customer for a day.
So for people that don't know what DBCs are, it's executive business centers, and we get customers, and they spend the whole day with specialists like JP.
And so I flew in the night before. We got up and
hmm
we were at the EBC all day. But then I took the red eye home because I need to get home. So I
Uh-huh.
got home about 5:30 in the morning. I came home for an hour. Like came back to my house for an hour, and then went back to the airport because I had to go down to Daytona Beach for another customer. And
Wow.
that flight was at 9. And I was pretty beat that day. I was like, I don't want to do this again.
Yeah,
But it was
yeah,
like last
yeah.
minute, a
It's
bunch of last minute stuff, So what else can you do?
it's the life of the field engineer because you were in the field. I packed my bags. I was at the airport. Everything was checked in. I'm waiting outside at the gate to board, and I get a call from obviously somebody at Microsoft, the resource manager at Microsoft, going, "Hey, we need you in London today." I'm like, "I'm in London right now, but I can't stay in London because all my bags are packed and I'm ready to go home," which was in Glasgow. So they go, "Yeah, we still need you in London tomorrow. We have an escalation with a customer, and you need to help them out." I'm like, "Okay, well, you need to run it past my manager." He's like, "It's been past your manager and his manager, so you are designated to come down." I'm like, "Okay." So I flew home. I arrived at 11 p.m. Stayed on the phone with Amex to book a flight to London again.
Yeah.
It cost like £1,000, which was an hour's worth of flight, and it usually costs around 150, 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So in dollars was like 13, 1400. And I said, I called my manager, like, are you sure I'm allowed to go on that flight? Like, yeah. He's like, you're in escalation right now, whatever it costs. So they did pay a significant amount of time. I think the hotel was like £400 because it was last minute as well. So yeah, it was a lot of money to go and help a customer, but we did help the customer, so it was fun. Although my wife was not happy. It was like, hi, and then bye, because I only saw her for 4 hours, 5 hours.
Yeah. The last time I traveled was March. I had to go to New York City for a customer, and that was it. It was the last time I was on a plane. And I'll be honest,
I am not missing it.
I don't miss it at all.
I'm not. I love my home. In fact, I'm so comfy and used to working from home now that I'll be super spoiled, super upset if I have to go anywhere in the near future.
I mean, I would like to come back. I would like to come back to Redmond, but I do not miss flying all over the place all the time. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, everyone. Funny story, by the way. We have been working together for 6 months, and we've been speaking to each other for over 7 hours a day. But they can't hear me.
What?
What? Is it just you? Am I? Yeah, but it also means missing events like Ignite. Oh, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a you problem, Joe, not a stream problem, which is good. But hopefully you can fix it.
Yeah.
Why can you not hear
I
me?
don't know. It's weird. I can hear.
We haven't met. We haven't met in person.
Oh, you can't hear
Sorry,
me.
I meant John.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
have I been speaking to myself all this time? That will be a very weird opening to the stream.
Oh, a little low but workable. Hang on. Let me. My kids were in here. I wonder if somebody messed around with the microphone. Let me try this. Let me try to turn it up.
Oh, somebody may have changed the dial.
Maybe. I'll try this. Although I guess I could always move it over a little bit. Maybe now it'll be closer.
He's really, really faint.
All right. Let's see if I can. How about now? Any better? No, it still looks low. It is kind of interesting how I have not touched this thing and somehow it's gotten a lot lower. Is this any better? That's all the way. So the gain's all the way up here. Let me just check one thing just to make sure.
A little better, but hard to hear. Oh man, let's fix this before we go on the stream because we have 3 hours of this.
I know.
Have you tried turning it on and off again? Ah, nice.
You know,
Christos is loud and clear.
Actually,
Loud and clear. I like that. I'm always loud anyway.
this is true. Yeah, I definitely see how, like, even though I'm right in front of it, I wonder if one of these other settings got flipped. That's true.
As JP says, I am. What is it? Toxic positivity. Did you say that? Did you say that I am the epitome of toxic positivity?
I didn't say you were the epitome of it. I just said that when we talk and you're super excited in the morning, I'm like, oh my god, how do you do this? This is awful. It's too early.
It's 45 too early.
You know,
Kaboom.
it's weird too because like
You set it up. You set it
like
up.
the gain is
That's a bit better now.
gain is all the way up, and yet it's still not picking up like it normally does. It's pretty weird.
Oh, he's got a new graphics card. Whilst we're debugging hardware, thanks for the recommendation on Utopia last week. Oh yeah, man, Utopia. Although it's super weird and it is addictive, and I have to say that it comes very close to the bone. All these conspiracy theories and stuff, they just make you think a little bit. But it's a great show.
How about now?
Between that and what about now? I don't know.
Any better now? I don't know what happened. Something has happened in the past 4 days. It's caused my mic to be. Maybe my kids broke it. Wouldn't be the first time, that's for sure. Maybe.
You are still a little bit faint. No. It's a no, JP. It's a hard
Maybe
no.
there's something wrong with me. Hello? Hello? I think it's broken. I legitimately think it's broken. I've never had to be 2 feet away from it like this before.
Yeah, it's broken. Time to get a new one. You should get the one that Michael had. That looked like a solid one.
I don't know why it's... That's so weird. I mean, it's been fine for weeks, months.
Mm-hmm.
And it hasn't
moved
anywhere.
Hardware breaks, right?
I guess
man.
so. You know, let me check one more thing.
Stay close
I'm sure
to
it's like a Windows thing. Hang on.
Yeah, to be honest, if you haven't messed with it, like dropping it or doing anything awful, then it could be Windows. Maybe the mixer on Windows is misbehaving.
How do I get to the old settings?
Did you install the BS filter in OBS? What is the
Then it would just mute.
BS?
Then it would mute me all the time. Let's see.
No, we don't have the BS filter. Maybe we should install it. Anyway, Utopia, awesome. The boys, awesome. And today we're celebrating the 404 followers.
Yeah, that's right. 404. Not
404. Not found.
Yeah, just kind of like my microphone today. Not found. Well, I mean...
And we want to celebrate the 45 one, right? So when we get the 425th person on the stream, we definitely need to celebrate about that. So you guys stay tuned. Maybe we'll do a...
There we go. This is what I was looking for.
Something special.
All right, so...
Do you think that was the problem?
Now is it any better? No, didn't look like it. What the hell's going on? It's pretty bizarre.
Did you restart your machine recently?
I got an update yesterday. I'm sure that probably blew something up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, if nothing else, I could always switch to my... Wait a minute. Oh, wait. Is this why? Oh, yeah. Oh, now it's way too loud. Sorry, everybody. Rip your ears. Sorry.
What happened?
The level of my microphone in Windows was set to like 40. Now it seems to be fine. Because now I changed this and it's fine. Yep, there it goes.
There it goes. Yep.
So I apologize for everybody's eardrums that just got blown out. So I don't know how that... it took me so long just to get to that setting. I have no idea where it came from. I'm going to push this thing back a little bit, get it out of the scene.
Joy's saying that his Mac is doing it every day, so apparently it's not just Windows.
Oh, weird. I wonder what that is. It's kind of weird. All right, the level's okay now? Because now it seems to be almost be clipping a little bit. Let me turn it down just a little bit. Okay. Are we good? Does it sound normal again?
I think we're good to go.
Well, so today we're also, speaking of hardware, we're just going to program our entire day with just the mouse. So I'm going to get my on-screen...
Yes!
Get my on-screen keyboard
Everything
here.
on the mouse.
So...
What was that all about?
I don't know. Enter, let's see, var. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but it was pretty silly. Like, real programmers don't use a mouse. It's like, well, I mean, that seems kind of dumb. I've got a mouse. Why wouldn't I use it? I don't understand why you would. I don't understand. I just...
Isn't it the same? Like, oh, you're using an ID, you should be using the console, or like, I get it. You can be super productive by using a certain set of tools, but judging other people because they're not doing the same thing as you is probably the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, that seems...
Like, I don't get it. Like, if I can be super productive and equally as fast in typing as you are, because I'm using my random keyboard and not a mechanical keyboard, with my blue MX switches and whatever, or I'm using my mouse, whatever mouse, then fine. I've seen people being amazing with Visual Studio and the keyboard, and I've seen people being amazing with Emacs and VI, and I've also seen people being super amazing with mice and right-click, context, whatever. I don't judge them, and in fact, I encourage everyone to use the tools that they like.
Yeah.
whether that's an ID or a language or whatever.
I like.
It's the same as yeah.
I don't know. It just seems people do what they want to do. Did you solve a business problem today with code? Thus, you are a developer. Period. Like that's the
Exactly.
question. It has nothing to do with your tools. I mean, like yesterday, I don't know what happened. I'm not saying they did it, but we had some people in the house and they were helping us clean it up, and they told us that they told us that in our bedroom they tripped a breaker with the vacuum. So I was like, okay. So then last night, of course, it was like I was like trying to get the kids in the bath and whatever, and I was like, oh wait a minute. I thought, wait a minute, I don't have any lights in my bedroom, and so I spent my whole evening undoing, taking outlets out, trying to figure out which one was bad. But the thing is, even though I have all the same tools as an electrician, it does not make me an electrician. So like that's the thing. I just don't understand why the. But I'm still here. I survived, which was good. So.
Thank God, man. Otherwise, I would have to set up my OBS day to do it, and we haven't done it in a while. The thing is that we're quite elitist when it comes to our profession for something that does not even have a formal certification, right? It's weird. Like if you're a doctor because you've gone through certification. If you are an architect, you've gone through certification. But if you're a developer, you can pick up a book and become a developer. And suddenly everyone is judgmental about how other people work, which I find extremely annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only time it's worth talking about how people do work is when you're working on a team with them, and it somehow impinges upon your productivity, right?
Yes.
So,
So Kyle, hey Kyle, thanks for joining us, buddy. Says Anders once did a .NET demo at PDC using Notepad.
Nice.
I know a lot of people that do stuff with Notepad, and it just works. Like if you're good, you're good. Doesn't matter what tools you use. You're absolutely right. Joe is saying your mic did not survive yesterday's electrical adventures.
Apparently not. That's pretty funny. Okay, so what are we gonna do today? So right now our tool, our Thrazman, right? It is so it's connecting.
It's working.
So it's working in the sense that it's tagging. It's tagging on creation. Let's get into the portal. We got a managed service identity that's running the thing, right?
Yeah.
So
Bold.io is saying, man, I still Google the simplest statements for syntax. I would fail on Notepad. That's my fear when it comes to interviews these days. Like you will walk in and they will ask you to solve, I don't know, bubble sort or linked lists. I haven't used linked lists since university, by the way. I would still love to meet someone in real world that had to use linked lists to solve a problem. Let's skip past that. But the interviews today are a little bit broken when you have to do stuff on the whiteboard, but you're not allowed to use the internet. Like if you're joining a new team or you're joining a new company, you won't be able to use the internet. So why not show developers how they really work, or let them prove how they really work by letting them use the tools that they have, and you give them a problem, right? Go and implement X. I don't know. Go and write a serverless function. How would you do that? And see how they would do it, rather than saying, hey, how would you implement this algorithm? I mean, unless you're writing algorithms for life, or unless you're working in a kernel team for Windows, I don't see why you need to sometimes know some really low end stuff when you're doing HTML and CSS for the rest of the day.
Yeah. I mean, IntelliSense, so there's this discussion about IntelliSense. Like, IntelliSense is sort of, I mean, I use it as a discovery mechanism. Because I could go Google and find the SDK docs and whatever, but it's a lot easier to just type, let me just go create a new resources management client and see what I can do with it, right? Not to mention, documentation's out of date and stuff like that all the time anyway. But at the same time, though, yeah, it lets you. It's kind of like what cloud does. And it's what paths and functions and all these sort of platform services do. These higher level abstractions is they get you further away from the plumbing. They get you further away from the boilerplate that you have to deal with on a regular basis. And it's just like Power Apps. Because there are a lot of people that sort of turn their nose up at Power Apps and Flow or Power Automate or whatever the name du jour is. And the thing is like, there's a guy I used to work with, and this was a long, long, long time ago. and he on the HR system was one of the things, because he'd been at the company for 25 years. But one of the things that was on the HR people's list of tasks for monthly 401k stuff, it was like, step 1, pull an extract from blah, blah, blah. Step 2, pull an extract from this other system. Step 3, call Lucas. And it was like, wait a minute. And the thing is, when I started on that team, it was 80% maintenance. Just keeping the lights on and the doors open. And it kept us from being able to do any sort of like new innovative stuff because we were far too busy just keeping things running. And so
calling Lucas all the time.
Yeah, so when something
Lucas, man.
So when something came up, when there was a new opportunity or whatever, it was we couldn't respond to it quickly enough. You know what I mean? Like we couldn't go and do anything cool. And so we got a new manager, and our new manager was pretty hell bent on us getting out of all that business. And so that's when we moved to these low code things. He said, "Look, build an API suite and let people manage their own tools. Let power users build their own tools with power tools like Excel and stuff like that, and Access and whatever, and just build the APIs to support them." And we could focus on other stuff. So I got to build after that. I got to build a cool like Connect hand wavy thing where you could look at PDFs and stuff with your hands. It was cool. But
nice. Check you out.
But that was the whole point. And I kind of feel like, our IDEs have all these tools and whatever in them to make it faster to write code, faster to spit stuff out. And even like with what we're doing right now, we're not even writing that much code because most of the plumbing is done for us by the fact that we're using functions.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
Why did VS rename the context menu? So that's Bold.io's question. Why did the VS rename the context menu source control to Git? Forever searching for source control before I remember. Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a rant. I mean, we tend to rename stuff all the time. What I would say with regards to tooling and language and whatever is like 20 years ago, the APIs were much smaller. And it was okay for you to know the API surface for whatever language you're using or whatever. But these days, there's an explosion of APIs, an explosion of functionality. Things have changed quite a bit. And I love the fact that we can use higher level abstractions to focus on the task at hand, rather than me having to worry about memory allocations or having to discover things. I feel that developers today have it so much better than 20, 30, 40 years ago, when obviously there was no internet to search for stuff, there was no Stack Overflow. And so many other things. Today, developing is so much fun. I find it a lot more fun to actually solve problems rather than try to work out how the BCL works or how the language needs to behave, right? And that's with not just C# and .NET, that's also with Java and JavaScript and Python. All these languages have these nice benefits that you can do some amazing things. Yeah. And by the way, you can still do pointers with C#, which I find extraordinary and scary at the same time. But, if you really like to double with pointers and have fun at the lower level functionality, you can still do it.
Yeah.
Right. Let's write some code today.
Okay. So, where do we leave off?
Unless people want us to continue ranting about tools and frameworks, we're more than happy. We have a lot of opinions. I don't know if they're right opinions, but we have opinions.
It's an interesting question, though. Like, why did the source control context menu get changed to Git? What's the future of TFVC? Like, what's going to happen to Team Foundation version control?
I can provide some context. I was in the marketing team for VS for Mac, and one of the things that I had was deep integration with source control. And VS for Mac, which was Xamarin Studio, which was mono-developed to begin with. It started with Git first, so they always had Git. But as they became Visual Studio for Mac, they added support for TFVC. But we did a lot of research, and the team found that what's the future? That there were not many people actually using TFVC on VS for Mac. I don't know if it was a VS for Mac thing or if it was in general less demand for it. So they parked that feature, did not build it, and then they decided to slowly take it out eventually as the usage was dropping. I don't know what the case is with Visual Studio, but I have to suspect that with with the dominance of Git and the proliferation of Git, and a lot more people feeling comfortable using Git, centralized source control systems are falling out of favor. Like I can't even work with Subversion or TFVC today if you were asking me to do that. I wouldn't even be able to find a workflow that works for me. I haven't used a centralized source control system since 2014. Scary.
Yeah, I haven't used TF.
When was the last time that you used TFVC?
I haven't. I had one old project that was TFVC that I moved a few years ago.
Okay.
So I've still got maybe there might be one that's still like an archive that's still in TFVC, but yeah, I don't use it very much anymore. It's been a long time. There were things about it I really liked, but there were things about it I didn't really like.
Such as?
I don't know. It was nice to like map a folder and be able to just get whatever I needed, and especially when we had lots of submodules and stuff. It was just, if you have a tree and you sort of not mirror and pull the tree, but if you have the whole tree on your machine,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was nice to have. It was nice to see the whole tree, and then do a pull on one of them and pull all the dependent projects, and not have to worry about any of the drama making that work. So I kind of liked that, but I haven't used TF in so long that I probably wouldn't like it anymore. Just because I've gotten fairly used to Git. So.
What I was saying, I particularly like when we moved Subversion to Git and lost a lot of history. To be honest, you can always archive your old source control, and that's how I did it with customers when we're looking at moving to a different product, because I would rather have proper source control that works for everyone rather than just do something. So what we did is we kept old history for a year. So we kept Subversion or we kept TFVC running for a year, in the hope that if you needed to go back and check in the history of the file, you would do it. It turns out 95% of the customers I worked with never went back to look at all their history for files. I get it. I get what you're saying, that history is important, but at the same time, it turns out that people think that it's more important than it actually is, and very few people use the history. So you keep it for a year, and as your code progresses, that's one more year of additional logs that you get. In the end, they just quietly wiped out their Subversion or TFVC and happily moved on to Git forever.
Hey, I think this one's still TFVC. Yeah, this whole project is still TFVC.
How dare you?
You see, it's 2012, 2014. I mean, these are pretty old things. So,
like identity security, less important than we think. Sure, you can go with that kind of mentality, but trust me, my friend, you can only get bitten by that once, and once you get bitten by that once, there's no way back. So we don't want you to make the news. We definitely don't want you to make the news for the battery.
Wait, what's less?
We want you to make.
Wait. What's less important than we think? Wait, what did you say before that prompted that comment?
I said history, like source control history, is less important than people think.
Oh.
Especially as they move from joking, of course. I know you're joking, Joe, but security and identity, security and performance are the two things that can come back and bite you really bad, because you haven't thought about them well. The first one is you can't scale because you screwed up your architecture, and the second one is you compromise your users' data. So we like for people to start thinking about them in advance rather than as an afterthought. So let's do them right.
Yeah, whenever we get like the phishing emails, like the test phishes, I always click them and then put in random characters like use an email address like haha not today, that sort of thing. Of course, then I get an email saying you failed the phishing test. I'm like, wait a minute, I think I just played myself, But
yes.
Anyway, what you ought to do is send all of your InfoSec managers a gift. Send them one of those password books, those ones you can buy off on Amazon, with a note that says, "Hey, I keep all mine in here, and it's been a lifesaver."
You should use it too.
Yeah. So I thought, as much use as I get out of mine, I was ordering a new one because my other one was full, and I thought you guys might like to have one. Okay.
joking aside, Phil Wisnali, who's one of the most prominent security feature people in Europe and the world, used to say that sometimes these books are even better than people just reusing passwords. So, if you feel, because who were we talking about? Was it Michael? They said like, I feel less worried about breaking into my house, like Michael Kendi from the Python community. He was saying, I feel less worried about somebody breaking into my house and stealing my password book, the physical password book, than somebody finding my password online and reusing it. So, do not discount it. I mean, it's not the best practice because it's not searchable and whatever. But for some people, like older people, it works. My mom did the same or does the same. Unfortunately, she carries that booklet with her all the time. So if she loses her purse, then all her passwords go with it.
See, I could get down with it being at your house. I couldn't get down with it being in a purse. That would be terrifying. My parents, my parents have one, and I'll call them and because they'll say, "Oh, we need to do blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Okay, And yeah, just you only need one sheet of paper. You just have one password that you write down in the book, and then use that one password everywhere. What could possibly go wrong?
A man purse. There are man purses out there. Maybe I should get you one for Christmas.
I thought I had one.
You thought you had one?
Well,
burn them on a CD in Excel and store them in a safe. Yes, and make sure that you use the old version of Excel, the XLS, like the UK government did, and lost billions of data.
Well, I think they must have been using the 32-bit one, right?
They used the XSL rather than the XSLT. So they had the older version, which was 2012 or something, which makes sense because the UK government doesn't update very frequently. And they lost a lot of data because they could only store 60,000 rows in that Excel.
XLSX.
XLS.
Yeah. So they were.
XLSX is the new one, right? And XLS was the older one.
I mean, I think it was new as of like 2007.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So they might still be running Windows 2000 or XP with Office 2005 or 2003. Who knows?
Yeah, I keep my master password for LastPass in a safe, Joe, in case I keel over. At least my wife can get in, get into all the stuff and pay bills and stuff.
CDs? Do people still get CDs? Like I don't. I have some CDs left over from older coding stuff, but I don't think I can play them anywhere today.
No, I've got a bunch of CDs, like spindles of them in storage.
But do you have a CD player?
Yeah, my desktop does. I think it still works. Even let's see if it opens. Yeah, it opens. Yeah, it opens, which means it's plugged in.
Some webs in there. You use it for like a coffee cup holder?
No. Okay, so we got to do some work. So we might have to cut out a little early today because we have such a busy rest of our day. So, let's see.
With floppy disks, God, I didn't know. Like floppy disks, that's amazing. See that's my fear. Like you will store these CDs and DVDs forever, and then you won't be able to play them 20 years down the line because there will be no media to play them on.
So we got our first computer when I was 10. It was 1995, and it was
I graduated from school in 1995.
It was a Packard Bell, and I remember my mom. She had these boxes of floppy disks. And, because Windows and all the documentation stuff way back then would say, well, you got to make sure you back up your PC. And so she'd have this huge box of floppy disks, like not the big ones, but like the 1.44s or whatever, the 3.5 inch ones. And I mean, there are probably still now in our attic at my parents' house, there are probably still boxes of disks of backups of our old machine. So,
do they not degenerate over the years? Do they not lose their ability to magnetic capacity?
I'm sure they're completely useless by now. But yeah. So I mean, and Windows 95 came on like 13 disks, and then there were 5 extra ones for the Plus pack.
Yes,
I remember those days.
And zip drives, zip disk. Yeah, somebody said zip disk, like a zip disk. Yes, man. I had a zip disk at the university, 2001.
So I didn't have zip because I was
100 megabytes.
I was too young. I didn't have a zip because it was before me, and we didn't. I remember my parents bought us a DVD or CD burner. It was a 2X burner And so you're like sitting there,
Whoa,
and
amazing.
it's like getting close to nighttime. And my dad's like, "All right, you got to get to bed." I'm like, "Hang on, I'm waiting on this CD to burn. I'm something to listen to tonight."
Oh man, those were. I remember when I was in university first year, all the rage was zip drives and mini discs, like the small CDs
Oh,
that were
I've
like
got mini
mini
discs.
discs.
I had a mini disc player in college.
I never got one. Like it was the envy of the time. I was like, I need to get one of those one day. And then obviously, they lasted only for 2 3 years, and then they went out of
Oh
favor,
no, they've
right?
been around for a long time. There were so many versions. The one I had did MP3s, so you would write the MP3s to the mini disc, and then
Yes.
the mini disc player would play it. It was awesome. I loved that thing. In fact, it is also still in a bin over there in storage. I'm sure if we fired it up, it would still work. My mom even had a mini disc player.
You can actually open a museum.
I wondered like maybe one day what we ought to do is just open up. I might just open up the basement and just let people walk through and just put like price tags on everything. Just like take what you want. 'Cause otherwise,
You don't want to because these things will be invaluable in 30 years.
well, I mean, if anybody needs a a VGA to RGB cable, I had to make one on my own, and it's sitting in there. I mean, it's just a. There are about 15 Windows phones in there. Just Oh, an Amazon Fire phone. That was not my
An
proudest
Amazon
moment.
Fire Phone? I didn't know they
Yeah,
existed.
they
Wow.
tanked so much that I bought it when it was like $99. And
I think you still paid too much.
the oh Joe, I've totally got you on an RS-232 cable. What size? What color? I don't know. It's
And
just
what length?
the thing is, every time I've thrown something out, inevitably I need it. Hey, look, the picture of it actually just showed up on the Google thing here in my office. But every time I've thrown something away, I've ended up needing it. Like 2 weeks later, I'm like, damn, I wish
Yes.
I had that cable. Like I was in here with
That's that.
a breadboard trying to make a console cable for the Unify thing the other day because I threw out the cable I had. And I was like, so I've gotten so gun shy I don't throw anything away now, cable wise anyway.
I think it's the curse of the cable box. Like you can't throw anything because you never know when you'll need it.
That's right.
And you end up just accumulating over and over and over again. I have various size of RG45 cables, for example, right? Ethernet cables, but I never throw them away because I might need them, and the one I keep might not work. So you keep loads of them.
Well, the kids now
And
the kids are getting into like old stuff. So the kids see the old stuff and they're like, "Oh, that's so cool!" And I'm like, "Yeah, I wonder if I've still got a cable that'll make that work." And it's like, "Oh, you know what? I just happened to." Now I did just do a recent reorganization, so I've got bins for different kinds of cables. So it's much better now than it used to be. Um, but it's I don't know. I can't bring myself to throw that kind of stuff away
yeah,
because inevitably I need it. So you know. It's also a huge mess
I
because I
do.
need to get a rack in the basement for all the network stuff, but we'll see.
God, I need another rack as well. But let's not get into that conversation because as soon as my wife hears that, she'll be like, "Yep, let's buy another rack," and I don't want that to happen.
So all right, here I
Although,
found a picture. So these are the bins on shelves, and
uh-huh,
there's a gateway CD folder.
we're not seeing it. Are you displaying it?
Yeah, there's a Mac Mini box, an M500
Yes. Oh,
SSD,
that's
all
nice.
sorts of stuff.
What kind of rack is that? What are you using
Those
there?
are plastic shelves from Home Depot. They're like
Oh,
$50 a piece. But anyway, all right.
not the boxes. I was thinking about the racks,
Yeah,
plastic racks.
yeah, they were like $50 a piece at Home Depot.
Oh, next up, order.
I don't live in the Northwest, so see, I would be a visitor. So
He's also hoarding code. Like you saw that he's got 2012 projects there still kicking
hey,
about,
storage is cheap. Who
right?
cares? It's not. I mean,
So that's the problem, especially with electronic storage. You can keep them forever.
yeah. Just go buy a new desk.
Problems with the cloud.
Okay.
Can you imagine, like 100 years from now, people will be hoarding on old hard drives, trying to find some useful stuff and fight over them?
Yeah, they go into hoarders and they're like, "Hey, your house looks great. I don't see anything here." And the guy like goes and opens up his computer and it's just like, He's got 78 petabytes worth of old code and movies and photos and everything else,
Yeah, I think it will be valuable.
Oh boy, so all right.
Corey's joined the house. Hey Corey, how you doing, buddy?
Okay, so let's get back to the matter at hand.
Code. Yes.
All right. So we've gotten our. So we've got this done. So I'll put a done here.
Yes, we have two functions that now they can respond to a queue message, and they can tag the resource that gets created.
Yep. So we've got that.
As part of that.
So now we need to go and. So these two, it's possible. We kind of have. I think really what we need for both of these is sort of a scanner, right? So we'll have a scanner. And the scanner is going to scan and queue for tagging.
Yep.
Which are resources that are untagged. And also queue for deletion or notification. Or a queue for notification or deletion. Maybe?
I would love for that to do, hey, I found 5 resources that you haven't tagged. Do you want them tagged? Or something like that.
I say we just tag them. So if it's not tagged, it's getting tagged. Period.
Okay.
Because it's like, well, if it's here, then it needs to be tagged.
I also want Alexa to go, hey, Alexa, or Google Assistant to go, hey, Google, scan my resources.
AWS Cognito versus B2C. So this is a question coming in from YouTube from Sahil. Hi, Sahil. I've never used AWS Cognito. I've read about it, I've looked at it, and it looks pretty normal. Pretty normal as a CIAM system. But I've never used it enough to really have a formed opinion on it. Just because, to be honest, I've never really heard about it in any context outside of... Has anybody...
Azure, AWS.
Well, every time somebody's talked about Cognito or asked me about it, it's always been, what do you think of it? Have you evaluated it? Or it's never like, I used this and this was great, or I used this and it was awful. It just seems like every time anybody asks, it's on an opinion of, is it any good? And I just don't know because I've never used it. And I'm not sure who is, because everyone who's asked me about it has never used it either. They're just asking for opinions. So I don't know. It might be worth trying out one day just to sort of see how it goes. But I don't know. I've never used it. So I kind of wonder too. Like on the let me put a new block down here. So on the voice assistant.
Yeah.
I guess that would ultimately be a search by tag, right?
Yes.
So this is very much sort of like an HTTP triggered function, and it'll be ad hoc on demand kind of a thing. For notifications, because one of them is going to be push and one's pull, right? So one of them is like, hey, what's coming up for deletion this week? The other one is more of a push of like, hey, these things are going to be deleted. And that I'm wondering if what the best way is to do that notification. Does that just happen on this timer scanner?
I think are you talking about the assistant and how that's going to work?
Well, I'm thinking works? More of the sort of the modality of how they work. So the voice assistant is going to be a pull. So somebody's going to say, hey, I want to do whatever. Tell me my upcoming resources for deletion. Tell me how many things you deleted last week. Tell me what's running.
Are assistants able to queue up messages like that? Because, for example, if I'm expecting shopping to arrive from Alexa, I get this green hue that says, hey, ask me what's happening. And then I say, Alexa, read my notifications. Can we push into that notification storage for Alexa, and then Alexa will say, hey, you have 3 resources that have been tagged for deletion for today? Or do we need to do a pull? Does anybody know?
Well, I don't know, because if we were to do notifications, that would be cool. Although I always ignore those notifications, but that's
Maybe you shouldn't from now on because there might be your resources being deleted. I'm just saying. Especially if we make it work, right?
So let's see. It's called the Proactive Events API. Okay. All right. Well, let's look. Proactive events. So yeah. So okay. Well, so this is cool though because this could essentially become. Let's see. So you send an event.
Right.
Let's see. Blah blah blah. You choose the proactive event schemas you want to support from a list of predefined schemas. Okay. So let's look at this.
Want to zoom in a little bit?
Schemas for proactive events. So let's see. We have weather alert, sports event, message alert, order status, occasion, trash collection. Trash collection might actually be that might actually be perfect.
It is.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. That's perfect.
The coming Tuesday is garbage types collection day.
Yes, for your Azure Resources.
So let's see. Do we have any? Oh, so that's one of their types.
Oh.
So I don't know. Oops.
It's only specific garbage types there. I see on the stream. So
oops, let me get back to where did the trash one go? I closed this thing to make more room, and now
you lost it.
Trash collection. So bottles, bulky, burnable cans, clothing, compostable, crushable, garden waste, glass, hazardous. That'd be a good one. Waste.
Hazardous. Yeah.
So I guess we can't use that because it has to be one, but that would be kind of confusing. Because what if you were actually using this for real from your for your actual garbage collection, right? If you're getting a notification, you'd be like, "Well, I wish you could add your own here. That would just be perfect." I thought she could talk. Why can't we put in our own
extensible, right? Yeah, it would be nice to have it as an extensible type in there, but it's not.
So then let's just look at message alert. Message maybe you see you have blank. No, I don't want that. Weather alert, sports event, maybe occasion. You're blank. You're blank for blah. Provides information about when a particular creative work is available and on which provider. So this may not be too bad. So, resource group 1 will delete on time on Thrazman.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Distribution method can be stream, air, release, premiere, or drop. Can we not just send a message? Anyway, well, ultimately, the proactive one is essentially just another notification, right? It's just an API call. So,
yeah.
As part of our notifications, where do we have our notifications? Do we have them somewhere? I don't know if we have a list of notifications yet anywhere.
Not yet.
All right. So notifications, SMS. What's it called? An event message. Email. What are other neat? We need to figure out like smoke puffs, like when they elect a new pope or whatever. That way, if you look outside your kitchen window and you see smoke rising from a chimney, you're like, oh no, my resources are about to be deleted. I've got 1 hour left. We'll just stick to those three, I guess, for now. Oh, does Google have any concept of a proactive event?
That is a good question. I don't have a Google Assistant. Does anyone on the stream have a Google Assistant?
I do, but I don't know how. Oh yeah, there it is. I think you.
I would be surprised if they didn't have a notification system, to be honest.
Let's see. Up the request timeout for app service. Ooh.
You seem troubled.
I thought there was guidance on this at one point on.
Notifications.
No. One of the Bolt.io has a question in the chat.
Oh.
Up the request timeout for app services. So there's the primary one, but I thought it was fixed at a certain. Hang on a second.
I know that for function, there's a way to override it, and I am pretty sure there's a hikey way to do it. I think there's a hikey way to do it. We can always find out for you if you want to, because I don't know that we know the answer.
Let's see.
But you're gone.
I think it's 4 minutes. And it's not app services to load balancer. Hang on though. Let me check.
What are you processing with app service? I don't think that the app service is probably the best solution there.
Let's look at this.
I would probably push that into a process, either a web job or a function, and queue it up in a different way, because you're right. And you don't want to... Are you using a front-end app to process these things? Yeah, it's not, but it's a product we aren't supporting anymore. Yeah. The other solution would be to stick it into a VM and control the timeouts there. Yeah, I thought so. Like you're importing some files. Now, to be honest, when I was like a long time ago, I used to work for a product that we were importing millions of lines of CSV files, although that was a back-end process. Everything was running on VMs for that reason, to avoid timeouts. Is there a possibility for you guys to move it to a VM?
Well, the other thing you could think about doing is taking the, if you've got a large batch, just splitting it into smaller batches before it gets sent to your system. So if you can't mess with the system you've got, just put
the data.
Well, put something in front of it that uploads the files, and then or maybe where they upload the file, let whatever uploads the file sort of chop it into smaller ones before the rest of the logic takes over, so that it's processing 15 files instead of one. I mean, this is where like the 202 accepted pattern. Is it 202 or 201? I think it might be 201. Where that accepted pattern gets a lot more useful, because you can say, hey, yeah, here I've got your work. I'm going to go do it. Here's your job number. Call me back in a minute and ask me how it's going. But if you're not going to change the code, if you do an accepted and then, of course, you send back some ID to say, hey, here's your batch. But if you can't modify the code, that would probably be too disruptive. So I wonder, though, if you were to use premium app service or isolated app services, if you get more control over the timeout there with an app service environment. Let me see.
We can reach out to Andrew Westgarth in the app service team to see if there's a way around it in terms of the timeout.
Yeah, I thought app service environments could at one point use longer timeouts. Or you could just...
I know, for example, you can override functions.
Or you could make it...
although it's not recommended, right?
Or make your ASE big enough that it could crunch through the data faster.
True. I can change the code, but it's such an Italian dish it's difficult and would cause a lot of testing resources. Yeah, rewriting code like that will probably almost like writing the app from scratch, especially if it's an older one. It's a challenge and a risk that you have to take, but maybe you can go with the approach that JP mentioned, where you break up the files before you send them up, so you have smaller processing time, but longer duration because you are doing it more frequently. I think that will be the closest one.
Yeah. Okay.
Before, yeah, email. Again, I think you can use Azure Communication Service for email.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it. We're not going to get to it today anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. I just wanted to record which ones we had. So, so the next one we have is the next function we have to write anyway is our timer function, and there are kind of two ways we can look at it. The timer function could handle all the work. I think it'd probably be better to let the timer function just queue up more work for other things to go and do, so that each one of our our functions is. I mean, because the tagging client or the queue, for resources that are untagged, we're essentially just going to come push them here, right?
Correct.
Although,
no, you can send them to the queue, and then the queue can pick them up and send them to the.
Yeah, that's what I.
We can just put a new tagging resource into the queue, and then let the queue trigger this function.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So then, does the request model need to be? We probably need to extend this with an end date or with a duration. So we'll have 30 as a default, or we'll have a default in configuration.
Okay. I'll make it configurable, you mean? Okay.
But also let the caller put this in.
Gotcha. So if it's not set, then set it. But if it is set, then use that one?
I guess it depends on how we want to do it. On the one hand, the caller could say, this is my expiration time. On the other hand, the caller could say, this is the created time, which we have. And then the default takes over. So do you want the caller to...
But what happens if so I assume that the date created will not be at the time that the resource was created, but at the time that you created the message? Because if you created a resource 6 months ago, then your tagging is not going to work. Because you'll be adding 30 days to 6 months, so that will take it down to 5 months, and your function will not pick it up.
Well,
so you need to set that
it would pick it up.
Created date the time that you run the function.
Well, but it would pick it up. And then it would delete it.
But is our function going to delete everything that has expired or everything that is set to expire on a specific day? Like, is it going to say what is expiring today, find all the resources and wipe them out because it runs on a schedule? Or is it going to say find anything that has expired up until today and then wipe it out?
The latter. Find anything that's expired and get rid of it.
Okay. Gonna jump on the community call, Bolt. Go for it, buddy.
Which community call is that?
Yeah. How dare they run their community call at the same time as we're doing our stream? No, the Graph API call.
Oh, nice. That is right now, isn't it? Yeah. We'll have to. We gotta coordinate our schedule around all the other things going on. I mean,
yeah, only 24 hours in a day, man. I don't know how we can coordinate unless we run our stuff at midnight.
I mean, in my opinion, I don't want to be in a place where I have some resource that missed getting deleted after its date because something went down, something broke, didn't work for a day, and we missed that one window of execution, and now we can't delete it.
Well, in that case, we can use the date created, so you don't have to extend it. It will always do it by default. It will tag the 30 days, and if it was 6 months ago, it will still be deleted.
But then the other half of that is some callers are going to have to say, when does this need to be deleted? Because
do we though?
Yeah,
because you create resources and you don't set anything up there, right?
Well, but think of the caller who's going to be coming off of, say, the Alexa thing or off of a notification that says, hey, you know, these resources are going to be deleted in 7 days.
Oh, you say skip this one, right?
Yeah, like push it out another week, push it out another 30 days.
Yes.
And then that would be, well, I don't know. I don't think.
I think that would be a separate function, not using the tagging request model.
Well, but I mean, this is what we need to do a tag. Maybe we just include arbitrary tags in here.
Okay, let's start. Before we start re-architecting this whole thing, let's see what we need as the next step. What's the next step?
So the next thing we need is we need a timer function.
A timer function. Okay, let's start with that.
I don't think it's re-architecting the whole thing. Give me a little bit of credit.
You're writing in I mean, yeah, it's fine. I'm surprised nobody has come out yet to say how you guys writing everything and there's no tests.
Yeah, we should probably write some tests, but whatever.
Don't do this in production, friends. Don't do this in real life. These are trained specialists.
So this needs a timer trigger.
Uh-huh. Don't forget to zoom in. Oh, I like it. Big and readable.
Ah, there you go.
Now go and find out how to do the... What's it called? What is he using for the timer?
Cron. I think
Cron,
this
yeah.
is...
Man, I always have to look it up.
This is every 5 minutes, but we'll go look and see.
We only want to run once a day, right?
Well, I thought about that, but then I changed my mind.
Oh, check that out. I didn't know this. Oh, look at you. You and your tools.
So let's see. This is 0, 5. Yeah, so every 5 minutes, I think this one is. At 0 past every 5th hour. It's weird. So, of course, we don't have...
Yeah, that is weird.
The following example shows a C# function that is executed every time the minutes have a value divisible by 5. So yeah, so this is an every 5 minute timer.
Yep.
So I don't know what the 0 at the beginning is for though. Because normally a 5 minute one would be like this, every 5th minute, right?
Every 5 minutes on the hour. That's what Joe is saying.
Well, not all.
Every 5.
But what's the 0 at the beginning for?
Well, the first one is the minute, so he's not running it every 5 minutes. I think he's running it every at 10:05 and 11:05 and something like that.
No, but our functions have an extra.
They do.
What's the 0 at the beginning?
Which was always weird.
Oh, that's the start time. I see. So the 0 is the start. The first digit is when it starts. Got it. Okay, thank you. That makes a lot more sense. That would be awesome if they would write that somewhere in here. Maybe it's in cron tab expressions. Ah, yeah. Here we go. So second, minute, hour, day, day of the month. Yeah. I see.
And cron. So we have to use a different version of cron.
No, I think
obviously
it's just, I think this is just a no. This is just a library that Functions is using to parse them. It's just a library out on GitHub for parsing cron expressions.
Cron times.
Yeah. Okay, but that's fine because I mean 5 minutes is fine, right? Because even
we still get 1 million executions for free per month, so we'll still be okay.
Yeah, so at, was it 86, let's see, 24 hours, 60 minutes, divided by 5, every 5 minutes, that's 288 executions a day, 8,640 per month. So I think we are well, even if we multiply that by 10, we're still well beneath our free well beneath our free range. So that's fine. Okay, so every 5 minutes we're going to run our timer. A cron cheat sheet for Azure Functions. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to have to save this one because this will come in handy later.
Well, you need to do 50000 star because that's how you do the... Go scroll down. Yeah, so you need to do scroll a little bit more. There you go. So the first one says every minute. Oh, every 5. Okay, that's how you do every 5 minutes. Fine. Okay, let's do that. So, are you sure every 5 minutes? Like, how often do you create a resource? So I would say every hour should be fine.
Every hour?
Although for testing purposes, we might want to do that. Yeah, fine. Just keep it every 5 minutes.
I mean, we can always. I mean, yeah. I mean, no, it's a good point though. Like, I wonder what the old one was doing. Let's go look at.
Yeah, what was?
Let's go look at the old one and see what how frequently the old one was. It was running. I think that's once an hour. Yeah, there you go. Dev every 5, prod every hour. So yeah, so I was doing it every hour in prod. I believe that's an hour. So yeah, all right. Okay. So we'll do 5 minutes for now. We'll change that up later. We could put this in settings too. So, okay. So we got our timer. Now, our timer needs to scan a set of subscriptions. Let's take a quick break. I got to run use the restroom. So let's, you want to take a quick break and be back in 5 minutes at...
quarter past for everyone. Or if we see it in cron, it'll be like 0:04/415.
Don't say it in cron because then we'll waste our entire break trying to figure out which one's correct.
See, I'm letting out not just time zones, but also cron times. So from now on, I'll be announcing everything in cron times as well.
And nobody will understand. It'll be great. No meeting will ever be the same. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes.
Do this.
The governor of the great state of California. Anyway, okay.
He's quite impressive, man. I read his autobiography. Yeah, he's a decent dude.
He is. There's a video of him undercover at a Gold's Gym, although, I don't know, I mean, come on. He's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He can't really be undercover. Okay, so now we got to scan our scoped resources, our scope's worth of resources. So we're going to do the subscription right now because that's what we're doing. So we need a subscription client out of Resource Manager. So let's see. Let's see. So this was resource group create, and here, let's see. So that sets up an outbound queue message. This goes. That's a resource manager client. I wonder if resource manager client should have our subscriptions. But we do need a subscription ID. It's interesting. So I wonder if we have to store that somewhere. I wonder if we could just connect to... How do we get a list of subscriptions?
How do we get a list of subscriptions?
Yeah. I think that's really the...
PowerShell.
That's really the first... Well, no. I mean, programmatically, we're going to need a list of subscriptions, right?
Why?
Because...
Oh yeah, to scan everything. Okay, yeah. So is this a multi-subscription solution, or is that just for the current subscription?
No, it could be. So,
that's a good question. I know that the Azure SDKs allows you to bypass, but you need to be, I think, an owner for all the subscriptions to be able to see them. It is a little bit tricky. But I know that the function actually has the ability to pull each subscription that is running on.
So we should be able to, well, what I want to do is connect. Oops, I don't want to be in there. Mm-hmm. What I want to do is connect and say, give me all my subscriptions. Find all the subscriptions that this has access to.
Yes.
Because we could use this at say we use it at a management group level. Because a management group is going to have multiple... a management group is going to have multiple subscriptions that are underneath it. So
Yep.
where? Let's see. Is it in the docs? Maybe. No, we are SDK consumers. So public developer docs. Here we go. Okay, not really what I was looking for. So Azure SDK, resource group client. This is Python. That's cool. Okay. This whole, I think this one is in Python, isn't it? Yeah, this is Azure for Python. So let's see. We have Azure.resourcemanager.resources. Let me just go search for that because I suspect it'll be a different one. Azure Resource Manager.resources. This is the resources management client, and there's no, let's see, new Azure SDK guidelines. Here we go. I think these are the docs we were looking for from the last time. Yeah. Okay. So, why are these docs so hard to find? Here we go, C#. So let's look for subscriptions. And let's see, Microsoft.Azure.Management.Subscription. Okay. And it's a subscription client. So let's go add this to our project file. So we get the reference to, let's see, package reference. We're going to get, oh, interesting. This looks a little bit different than the other one. Is this still in the same... Is this still in the same Azure namespace, or is it in this Microsoft.Azure?
Maybe they haven't changed the name yet. They're still in the process of doing that. But if it's part of the new Azure SDKs, then you're good. Which is good. You're in the right space.
Well, let's go check the NuGet package to make sure that's the right one then. And check the version on it. Yeah, it is. Microsoft.Azure.Management.Subscription. Yeah, because like all the new ones follow this Azure dot instead of the Microsoft dot. But I'm guessing maybe because it's the management one, maybe it's different. But so this is the latest one, right? This is a preview release of Microsoft.Subscription. And well, I don't know, maybe not, because this is pretty old and it's never had a release, it doesn't look like. This version history goes all the way back to 2017 and they've all been preview.
Maybe they're not feeling confident enough to release it.
Is this, I feel like we're missing something. Like there's got to be something else that I'm missing. Azure Storage, right? Yeah, I mean there are 400 here. We can't go through each one. Azure subscription. Microsoft.Azure.Subscription. Yeah, Windows Azure is the old one. So I mean, I guess this must be it. I just,
as I said, not everything has been moved to the new namespace of Azure X. So part of the process. John Galland and his team are valiantly trying to do that as quickly as possible.
Yeah, this one just doesn't look like it's ever actually become a package. It's never.
Yeah.
This one doesn't look like it's ever been released, but I mean that's okay. So okay, we'll take this one for now. The other question is, can this use things like Azure.Identity, which I guess we'll find out.
I suspect that it does. Did you see did you check the sample? We haven't checked the samples yet. That would be the best place to start.
I don't think there are any.
Well, not there, and it will be in the GitHub repo. GitHub for the win.
just search for this here. So let's see, 532,000 code samples or code. So
subscription. Why not go back to Azure SDKs? Just do aka.ms az SDK, and then from there you should be on the repo. Yeah, so from here, find the one that you want, and then go into Docs, GitHub Docs.
It's not here.
Is it not?
Management libraries, maybe. Subscription? Nope. These are resource management.
Oh. Nothing on subscriptions?
Doesn't look like
Storage resources. Is it subscription and resource? Probably not.
Yeah, it must be. This is it. So.
GH Docs. There. Second column. GitHub Docs.
Yeah, there are no docs for it.
Are there not?
No.
Oh, that's the Azure Stack subscription. Sorry, I was looking at the Azure Stack. Go into GitHub. Go straight into GitHub. They might have some samples there. There you go. Tests.
You are certainly optimistic, my friend.
I am optimistic. Of course I am.
All right. Scenario tests.
There you go. Get subscription client. What does it pass? A handler. A handler? Context. Subscription.
We may have to go. We may have to go back even further to even older ones, to even older libraries.
No.
Yeah, we might have to.
Surely not.
We might have to. All right. Let's get this one out of the way. So we've got our. Oops.
We got our
management.subscription. So subscription client.
Yep.
We do one of those. What is this expecting? Let's see.
An HTTP client.
HTTP client.
That is super weird.
A delegating handler. Okay. A root handler. A base URI.
Of the service.
Credentials. What kind of credentials? What kind of credentials are these, I wonder? I can't.
But does it still require an HTTP client?
These are service client credentials.
So that's the service principal?
I don't know. Let's see. So.
New service client credentials.
This is so we need an So I'm assuming if we use our own HTTP client, that we will be responsible for putting headers on it for what for authenticating it or whatever.
Looks like it. Now, hear me out. Hear me out on this one. Would it not be easier to just do a PowerShell function that grabs them, that we can call from the scanner, and be done with it, rather than try to use the .NET SDK? I mean, it would be a one-liner for PowerShell to do. So much easier. It's not perfect, but at least we don't have to
then we have
deal with.
But then now we have a second function, don't we?
Which is fine.
We
have
a second function app.
No, you can still. Oh yeah, but it's fine.
It's not fine though. It's dirty and ugly. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
you might have something else that uses that get me all subscriptions. It might not be just this function. You might have to reuse that. Anyway, that was just an idea. I said, just hear me out. So if you don't like it, we'll carry on.
That's fine. I'm just thinking of what the. So we'd have to have a second function app, right? Because I can't mix PowerShell and C# in a single function app. So I'd have to have a second app.
Correct. Yeah, because the runtime will be different.
And a second app means a second pipeline for deployment. I don't know.
Oh wow, that's gonna be so hard for us to do, isn't it? You're not going to be deploying every day, are you?
No, I'm just thinking of all the other work that we'd have to do.
You mean the extra 4 lines of YAML that you have to write in Azure DevOps or GitHub Actions? Sorry, I'm just yanking your chain here, but if I were doing that, I would probably not second think about it because I know that PowerShell is super optimized for things like that. Yay, DevOps. Exactly, man. Yeah, DevOps. We can automate the whole thing out of here. Yeah, I can't have an automation solution without an automation for deployment. JP is troubled now.
Is there any facility for managed identity for PowerShell functions? Let's see. Let's see here.
How to use for SQL. I would probably search for a PowerShell with managed identity without functions because I think this
Well, but
authenticate PowerShell with managed identity.
yeah, but the only thing, like, you can run PowerShell in what, a function and maybe an automation
Yep.
where managed identity would even be available.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So that's a logic app. I mean, I guess
Connect AC account, your gateway to Azure PowerShell.
I mean, I think we'd have to use the service. Well, we may not even. We'd be able to get a token because we'll end up getting a token from the managed service identity endpoint, right? So the managed identity endpoint, when we call it, it would return us back a token for. So can you just pass a token into PowerShell?
I think I've only done it with service principal, not for managed identity. But would you not need to have an elevated service principal with the right permissions?
That's the whole point of the managed identity.
But will it have enough elevation?
To scan the subscription? Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, because
all the subscriptions across all your accounts.
Well, it depends on where we've. I mean, so right now we've given our managed identity right now has one subscription, but it could be at a management group level. It could even be less than a subscription, right? It could be just one resource group, I guess. I don't know how useful it would be then, but it could be. So
let's see. It says authenticate with personal access tokens. Azure DevOps. No, we don't want that. PowerShell function to get AD token. Connect AZ account. Would I not tell you what the options are? The very first one?
Yeah, connect AZ account. I know it's got a service principal override.
Okay.
Environment, tenant, subscription, context. I wonder if we generate a context file. If that would work. Device authentication. I wonder what that is. Force scope, default profile. Okay, so let's see. What is device authentication? Oh, that's device code. That's right. Okay.
Okay.
Oops. So here's the service principal one.
Mm-hmm.
That just has service principal. With let's see.
What is the next one? Environment credential.
So it's got
Can you create a PS credential from the managed identity?
I don't know. Here you go. Access token. We can.
Oh,
now
we're cooking now.
It needs a graph access token and key vault access token, which is kind of interesting. But
are they optional? No, they seem to be optional. Yeah, because I think you only need the access token and the account ID, right? The blue ones are the ones that you probably need to pass in.
So let's try that. So I'm super, super curious if this is going to work. So I'm going to.
Since when did you move? Since when did you move your tabs to the side? I saw Nicholas doing it yesterday.
I try. Oh, it popped up and said you should try your tabs on the side. I was like, okay, why not? I mean, it's okay, I guess. It's not great, but
It's okay, I guess.
I mean, it seems kind of strange to me, to be honest. But whatever. I figured I'd try it. PS MSI function. I'm just going to do a test one here, and then we're just going to write code.
Sure.
We're just going to write code in the browser.
Yeah.
Because I am not entirely sure
That this will work.
how all this would work. I mean, it should, right? So we know the account ID, and we can call the MSI endpoint for an access token. So in theory, that should all work.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's try it and see.
In theory, I love that. In theory.
I mean, everything sounds like it should work. It sounds good. I've just never tried it. So let's try it. And let's just see. Because, yeah, I mean, using MSI from PowerShell would be pretty useful, I think.
Yeah.
From within a function. All right, so let this cook for a minute.
Cook. Simmer. I am upset now because I don't see the tabs on the side.
This is the Azure app. This is just saved as an app.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the tabs on my browser.
Oh, they're over on the left-hand side.
Yours are there. I can't see how to set mine.
There's a button.
A button?
Yeah, right here. There's another way to do it too before. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't get that one. Which version do you have?
I don't know. This is 870661.
87. Oh, I'm 85. Damn.
Okay, so functions. So let's create a new one once it comes up here. We gotta turn on an identity. Let me do that while we're waiting on this identity. Let's create one. On, save. So we're gonna create a system managed identity. This will give us an ID, so we'll have our ID for our thing, for our thing here. Get my sticky notes. Because we will actually need this one, I believe. Although, I think it's available from a different place, but whatever. Let's see, PS. Okay. Let's go ahead and give this... I'm going to give this reader rights, just because I don't want to accidentally blow anything up.
Yeah.
So I'll do it on my subscription, and let's just make it reader for now, just so we don't accidentally break anything. Okay, so now we've got reader on my subscription with this separate MSI. Let's go write a function in PowerShell. Why can I not add a function? Oh, there we go. Add a function. Yeah, we'll do it in the portal. That's fine. Let's see what templates we have. Honestly, we'll just do an HTTP one. It might be easier. Yeah, HTTP is fine, so we'll do an HTTP one. And I can't seem to scroll down enough to get this in here. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. Get subscription list. Authorization function is fine, so let's add this. Okay. Code and test. I wonder if we could import. Is there an? I wonder if we could import Azure Identity. Honestly, though, I guess we probably don't even really need to, do we?
No.
So
you just need to get the token and then pass it into the get AZ account, isn't it?
So let's go look at the, let's see, this is test ps msi function dot scm dot azure websites dot net. So this is our backstage view for app service and function. So here we'll be able to see all the environment variables. And we'll make sure that MSI is turned on this way. And then I gotta go find the address for MSI. I think it's a 169 address, but I don't remember exactly what it is. So, let's see, MSI. Ah, all right. MSI endpoint is this. I guess I can just get these out. I can just get these. So it is MSI underscore endpoint and MSI underscore secret. All right. So, MSI secret. So this would be interesting. I've never done an HTTP. It's an invoke web request. How do we get an environment variable? Is it could it be as easy as env MSI endpoint? No, it can't be that easy. I mean, I hope it is.
Why not?
I hope it is. I'm just. And then we need the MSI secret. So let me pull up the MSI docs here. MSI secret, or see, MSI endpoint. Azure.
Looking at environment variables into docs, figures, bindings, profile, versions, environment variables. Yeah, it is env and then the name.
Is it env dot or env colon?
Env colon.
Okay.
You had it right.
Okay.
And intelligence picked it up, by the way, so I don't know why you're surprised that much. Is it because it was written above?
I think it's because I already typed it up here.
Okay.
I mean, because if I do another env, oops, if I was to do another env colon, yeah, those two are there because I typed them before, I think.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Now, what do we send in that request? Here we go. Azure App Service. Using the portal, okay. Using the CLI to turn it on, okay. Using PowerShell. Oh, that's just turning it on and enabling it.
Using.
For
a function now.
Oh, that's a resource manager template. Obtaining tokens. Here we go. We'll just skip all that. All right. So, using the REST protocol. Here we go. These are incorrect. So, identity endpoint is a local URL, which this, I believe, is one that is actually called MSI endpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. There's an identity endpoint as well.
Oh, there is one. Oh, well, let's use that one because that's the one that we want. Maybe that must be for the old version because it's not called MSI anymore anyway.
Oh, right. Yeah. But they kept it there for backwards compatibility because they were the same value.
Yeah.
If you check again. Okay.
Okay, so identity.
Interesting.
Okay, so identity endpoint.
And
then this is identity secret.
Correct, Amendo.
Okay. Local URL, blah, blah, blah. To get a token for a resource, make an HTTP GET, including these parameters. So we need resource. I'm going to move this over here. Let's put this right here. And we will put this right here. Okay. So we need resource, which in our case will be https management.azure.net. We need API version. And API version is 2019-0801. We need X identity header. And this is a header. So these are both query strings. This is a header. X identity header, which is the secret.
Yep.
And then the optionals are client ID, principal ID, and MI res ID. Let's see. Oh, those are user assigned. We're not using user assigned, so these are the only 3 that we need. Cool.
Perfect.
So let's figure out how do we do an HTTP GET in PowerShell. HTTP GET in PowerShell. Ooh, that's super old. What is this? PowerShell 7?
Yep.
All right. Invoke web request. Is that still the latest? Is that still the latest way to do it?
Yep.
Okay. So invoke web request. Our URL is identity endpoint. Okay, that's easy.
It says URI. Sorry, it's URI, not URL.
Oh, it is URI. Okay, URI identity endpoint. Actually,
headers.
So it's going to be identity endpoint, and then it's going to be.
It has everything, doesn't it?
Resource. HTTPS management.azure.net and API version 2019-08-01.
That is scary as hell, the fact that you know it by heart.
Well, I just wrote it. Also, for my PowerShell people, I'm not sure that's gonna parse correctly, but that's okay. And then we need to include a header, and that's in this headers dictionary. So headers, and then I believe it's an @ and then the header.
Do you not have an example? Do you have an example further below?
I'm sure we do. We can go look. And then X identity header, and then that is env identity. I believe it was identity header.
No, it wasn't identity secret.
Identity header. It was MSI secret before. Now it's identity header.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So identity.
Can we see that value on the? Can we see that value on the?
I mean, I think it's sensitive, but yeah, identity header. There it is.
Okay. Hide it. Hide it.
As if pause buttons didn't exist. Let's see if there are any. Let's see if there are any samples. Here we go.
Okay, there you go.
Excuse me. So, invoke web request URI. Yep, that all looks good. So that's. Oh yeah, we got to set it to something. Use a stateful web service. Invoke. Okay, that's a post. We're not doing a post. We're just doing a get. Get the links from a page. Oh, that's kind of neat. Stream writer. It's cool. Multi-part form data. We don't need to worry about that.
Nothing with headers. It would be nice to have headers in there.
Well, I think it's down here at the bottom.
Okay. Ooh, quite a few of them.
Here we go.
Content type. So that's for submitting, not for retrieving.
Oh yeah, because that goes in the content. That's like. Oh no.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that's not using the headers.
Exactly.
That's not using the headers collection.
Exactly. Check the next example.
Nope, it's not in there. Let's see. Invoke web request headers. As usual, somebody else's blog post fills in where the docs are not helpful.
That's for accessing the response. Where are the headers?
Yeah, so it's so it's at curly brace. Yeah, good call, Cal.
Curly brace.
Good call, Corey. I need to. We got to go figure out the best way to do that.
Don't think your URI will parse right. PS, we'll see that whole as an end name and an honor. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So let's see. How do we do string concatenation in PowerShell? Is there any sort of string interpolation in PowerShell? Like where, let's see, string interpolation PowerShell. Syntactically limited to parsing.
So you probably need to concat. quick and dirty way maybe to set the environment variable as a variable in the line above. So you pass it as a variable.
So that is, yeah, so dollar, let's see. env identity endpoint. Yeah, we'll might as well do the header too.
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't need to because that's not part of the URL. That's not part of the URL. Okay. So then here we'd have just identity endpoint. Now, will that parse all the way through?
It might make it easier to build the string. Also, you say URI. Maybe you need to do variable URI equals identity endpoint plus that, isn't it?
Does this?
Oh, right. Okay.
Does this work? I guess I've got PowerShell in my box. We could always just go try it, right?
You got PowerShell in your box? It's amazing.
Yeah, who would have guessed that we've had PowerShell on our machines?
I am impressed that you're not using VS Code to do that, but it's fine.
Okay, so sum val equals, I'll just do like, you know, localhost. So then sum val plus a path here. Okay, that works. So the plus will work. It looks like it works. I mean, that looks correct with no extra, with nothing.
That may put an extra space, says there. Or is it because do you have a space somewhere?
No, I think it's. No? I think. Well, I just tried it in PowerShell, and it looks like it's okay. It looks like it worked out okay, as long as I don't have any extra spaces here. So set those equal. We've got that, and we do our header. So let's see. Now we need to set this to something. So we'll call this token response equals that. Oops.
What? Oh, okay. Took a while. Did you invoke it?
I hit the save button. So now how do we get, let's see, token response. How do we get the JSON out of a invoke web request? So identity endpoint is local URL, blah, blah, blah. So we send these things in. What do we get back? It includes a JSON body. Now I saw it somewhere. There was JSON parsing in PowerShell, but I could also be misremembering. Convert from -JSON. That's what I was looking for. So token data is convert from JSON.
You need to pass the token response body, isn't it?
Use basic parsing. Why do we need to use basic parsing? Okay. So that's the content property. Then you just pipe it in. So token data is token response. Oops. Content, and then pipe that into convert from -JSON, and then that should give us token data dot. Let's just do let's do client ID.
Okay.
I want to print something to see if it works. I don't want to print. I don't want to print the access token. All right. So let's just do a write. Sure. Let's do a write host here. Okay. All right, and then we'll just see if we get a write host. So let's save this. Get the URL. Copy this out. Let's go over to Postman. Oh, we don't even need Postman because it's a get. So I'll just run it over here.
Yeah. You can run it on the browser, right?
Yeah. The first managed dependency download is in progress. Function execution will continue when it's done, depending on blah, blah, blah. Okay?
First managed dependency. Interesting. What was our dependency?
I think it's just the dependencies for this to work at all.
Okay.
So it's still spinning.
It's been a very long time since the last time I ran any PowerShell on functions.
I don't know if I've ever done a PowerShell function.
Ah, you're missing out. So much fun.
Now, the other question is, what would have taken longer? This? Or stumbling through the API?
I think the other one.
Wow, this does take a while. Okay, well, come on.
It does take one. To download the whole PowerShell core.
It's
No,
still
I'm just kidding.
spinning. The browser's still spinning. So, Bing gets a new logo and is now called Microsoft Bing.
Exactly.
Still spinning. Still spinning. While we're waiting on so this has so that does have a trailing slash. Okay, good. So we have a trailing slash. That should give us trailing slash whack resource. Okay.
Oh, new trace in place. What happened there? Did that execute?
Nope, still spinning. Still waiting for it to come back.
Damn.
Just try running it again. See what we got. Still spinning. All right. Yeah, I don't know. This is taking forever. I thought you said PowerShell functions were cool.
Hey, what's it? They are cool.
Depending on the content of requirements.psd1, this can take a few minutes. Subsequent function executions will not block, and updates will be performed in the background. The first managed dependency download is in progress.
I don't remember ever seeing that.
I mean, this is taking... So far, it's been 2 minutes. I mean, I guess
I said minutes.
I mean, I guess it's the first time.
Not a couple of... Not a couple of minutes. Minutes.
Okay, I'm like really anxious to see if this... if our PowerShell worked first time through. So I like really want to see what's going to happen. Come on.
It will be amazing.
But if it's just going to sit here and hang out, has anyone watching ever built a PowerShell function? PowerShell function.
I hope so.
Startup.
Oh.
Nope. Let's see. Get rid of all these extra tabs so we can see what's going on. No new trace in
still
3 minutes.
Come on.
But it's still, I mean, the HTTP request is still open, so...
Still going?
Still waiting on the response, so let's... Oops, I didn't mean to close that. Still waiting on the response over here, so let's see.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of... Surely it doesn't have to do this on every bit of new code, right? This is just because the environment is brand new, because we just created the function, I'm hoping.
Same here. Here's hoping.
Okay. Come on. Yeah, so we just want to see the client ID. The client ID we know because it's our MSI's ID. So that should be pretty easy to verify. And then maybe we can just get the access token and snip it. Just to make sure that we're getting one. We should, if we get a client ID, then suffice it to say we've made a successful request and we've gotten an access token too. If we ever get one.
We will get one. Patience.
Getting on to 4 minutes now.
Watching paint dry while PowerShell is spinning in the background.
So I guess I'm going to go work on this since I could probably make this work before this thing downloads its dependencies.
That's a good point. Multitasking.
I'll just leave the window down here so we can keep an eye on it.
Yep.
Although the thing is, now I'm thinking we will have to do the same thing here to get our MSI token. Because this doesn't seem to be Azure Identity aware. So in order to get our token, we're going to have to do the same thing here.
JP versus the cloud, who's faster? Obviously, JP, he can type at lightning speed. And he doesn't even Google for his things, or Bing for his APIs. He just does it. I see no comment. JP's just typing furiously, just to prove himself.
No, somebody sent me a message. I was sitting.
Ah.
I'm trying to get Timmering because I know he's a big PowerShell fan.
He's watching somebody else. Or he was watching somebody else, but he seems to be away right now.
That's too bad.
He's missing out, exactly.
So, let's see. I guess, should we do our own delegating handler? I don't really want to. What kind of credentials?
So ugly.
Credentials needed for the client to connect to Azure. 6 minutes, this thing's still going. Come on. Oh, the request timed out. Imagine that. I guess we'll just run it again. Is the download still happening? Like, what's... I don't know. This just seems really...
Can you do a refresh?
Seems really bizarre.
There you go. It is bizarre.
Okay, I guess I'll do a test run here. Let's see, I just want to do a get. Whatever. It's looking for a name. Just so that it doesn't blow up. We'll run this again. To tell me...
That is a bit of a weird experience.
Oh, no, there we go.
What?
Okay, good.
Oh,
no, so those were function... so it timed out doing something that I can't do.
What's happening now? Just informational stuff?
Okay.
Hello something.
Okay, finally.
This is to be triggered successfully.
Okay, so output. MSI 5032. There's the client ID.
There you go.
So...
Now we're cooking.
This is the client
See,
ID.
you're bad-mouthing Azure Functions and PowerShell.
Oh, wait. No. It didn't work.
What? Why not? A positional parameter cannot be found that accepts argument plus. Oh, the string concatenation seems to have blown up. Let's say which line.
Oh god, it's got a bunch of extras.
Wait a minute. Did it dump the whole environment variables?
It would appear it did.
Wow. I'm puking out because I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so it doesn't like this.
Yes, it doesn't.
So then drop the plus. Surely that won't work.
Right? Run it locally.
Well, Bolt.io, I'm glad that you're back. So Christos convinced me that instead of us trying to use the undocumented and preview Azure Subscriptions library in C#, that instead it would be, quote, super easy to use PowerShell functions to get a list of subscriptions. So we did that.
Because it is. Once you get it right.
Yep, so we did that, and then we waited 6 minutes for the PowerShell function environment to JIT. Then it died because I don't know how to do string concatenation correctly in PowerShell, apparently, because I had a plus sign here. And now we're trying to determine what I need to have here.
Corey says it's the URI string on the invoke web request.
He says drop the plus. Okay, so like I can just stuff two things together and it's going to work? Oh, my variable needs to be inside the quotes. Okay, like that? Okay, it's blue, so maybe there's something
Maybe he's
here.
right.
Let's run it again and see what we get. Okay, I believe you. I'm going to try it again. Run. We're going to ditch this window, and I'm going to make this big again, and we'll just use the... Where did it go? Here it is. We will use...
Still dumped the whole thing. The host name could not be parsed. Do you see that? The host name could not be parsed.
Okay, well let's do this. So let's just do a write host on env identity endpoint and make sure there's actually something there.
Test it locally, he says you have the power.
Well, no, but I can't test MSI. I can't test.
Who is this?
I can't test MSI
Crazy
locally.
wildfires in the house.
I can't test MSI locally. That's my only problem right now.
Ever dapper. He's like, I think I'm the sidekick over here. JP's doing all the typing. I'm just here, just commenting and giving him trouble. We're doing PowerShell, Crazy Wildfire. You should be super proud.
I need to reconnect.
Or I convinced JP to do PowerShell.
Oh, please reconnect to continue the logs. Okay, where's my reconnect?
Start.
Clear. All right, connected. All right. Okay.
Can you see the...
Now connected. Okay, now connected. Let's run this again. Man, this takes an age. I'm not convinced, Christos, that PowerShell functions are the way forward for us.
I think it's just a you problem, not a function problem.
I mean, I didn't do anything except for follow the docs and write a new thing. Oh, we've got another timeout.
Timeout?
Well, that must have been another one we invoked, because that we invoked 5 minutes ago. Maybe the error is just making it in.
Looks like it. Did that run?
I don't know. This is
Run again. Run.
see, clear. Okay.
You did.
Run this.
Doesn't seem to execute now.
Somebody's at my door. Hang on a second.
They're demanding their PowerShell back. Are you giving up any hope on PowerShell?
No, somebody made me something at school and wanted to deliver it, so I have to make sure I put that somewhere where I can see it. I need like a cork board or something so I can put these things up. Okay, so we're still not seeing anything in the logs, even though it says the trigger function executed successfully. Okay,
logs just came back just now.
It seems to continue showing me the old logs over and over and over again.
Think so?
Yeah.
What's the timestamp?
So let's see.
16.
I want to clear the logs. Stop. Clear. Start. Don't show me the old logs, please.
And run again.
I'm gonna. Okay. Now
run.
Now connected to log streaming 1607. So that's right now. Okay, good. So let's run this again.
Takes forever to run. Why?
I don't know. You said this was super, quote, super fast. Not feeling it. Not feeling the super fastness here.
It's the logs that delay to come back, not the stupid function. The function just returned.
Okay. Well, let's just do this. Let me just return that in the. Let me just return that.
Okay.
Okay. So. Don't need any of that.
Yep.
So this is just setting a variable called body. So let's just do this. Let's just set body equal to, okay, well this isn't working. So let's set body equal to the identity endpoint, and then I'm just gonna comment all this stuff out. So body is set to the, so we should get back the identity endpoint in the response.
Yep.
So save this. Let's run it again. At least we'll get a, if we get a response, we'll see it, even if we don't see it in the logs. Is our PowerShell function still in preview or something?
No, I think it's it.
Okay, so there it
you
is.
go. Although it takes a lot of time for something that... What happens if you run it again? Does it take equally as much time to run? Damn, it almost feels like it's jitting every time you call it.
I mean, I can run it again from the browser and see if it's any faster.
No, I doubt it.
Doesn't look like it.
No.
So
A Milky White is worrying. Like if our function has to execute and it has to call another function that takes this long, it's just weird.
So I think part of my problem here. So we know we have a value there, which is great.
Correct.
I think this is what that. This is when we have to do the use basic parsing, because I've never done an invoke web request that didn't require a use basic parsing. So I'm hoping that's all it is. So let's not even convert from JSON. Let's just set the body to the
to the token response, right?
Token response content.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's run that.
Dun, dun, dun. Give it a few seconds.
I mean, it's not even making any. It's not even making any calls.
I think it's making the call, but it's just not logging. Oh, something failed. Invalid URI.
The host name cannot be parsed.
I think that's the problem. I would assign a new variable for the URI and do the screen concat before we pass it into the invoke web request. Do you need the quote at the end? Okay. Let's see how that pans out.
All right, identity endpoint. We got our header. We got our basic parsing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Save it up. Run it. Run actually means run and get yourself a cup of coffee while you're waiting on this thing to jit again, apparently, and run.
Oh, no, it ran faster this time.
What are you talking about?
And we still got a nice error message.
What are you talking about? It hasn't run yet. It's running.
I saw the logs moving.
I moved them because we were somewhere in the middle.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, wait a minute. What are you seeing? Okay, so we got a bunch of extra ones here. So, information.
Status code does not indicate success.
Okay,
500.
that's good.
Ooh.
All right, so that means it actually called it. So here it is, HTTP. So that's our thing. So that's all looking good.
Should there be a forward slash after the token if you're passing a...
That's fine.
A parameter?
That's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah? Okay.
So, let's see. Resource. Okay.
We have an exception.
So that was a 500. So what did we get? Let's see. Is there anything?
Did something blow up in the context?
The remote server returned to 400. Okay, so I didn't make the request correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I don't think there's anything value past that. Okay, so let's see. Our header.
It doesn't seem to be a 403 though, so I think the identity header was passed. So are we missing something else from the endpoint?
Well, 400
is
a bad request, so we must have. There must be something wrong with what we requested. Management.azure.net, I believe. It might not be .net. It's .com, and I believe it has a / in it. Maybe it's the wrong resource. Okay. Incorrect resource. Let's see. Yeah, why does the log stuff keep booting me out too? I don't understand that.
Oh, Oh, kaboom.
Oh, look at that. Cool. So it was just it was a user error, as expected. Cool. Okay, so now we've got a token. So now we can set data over here. We'll go parse our content. We should probably put some error handling in here to do error handling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you need to return body needs to be token data, right? You need to return the token data.
I don't need to return it here, though. So here, now we connect AZ account.
Oh, you're going to get all the subscriptions. Right, gotcha.
And it was access token, token data, access token. And then let's get back to our docs. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's get this out of here. So we get this back. And then what was it? Connect AZ account. We need access token and account ID. So, one thing we could do.
What is the account ID?
It should just be the...
From your earlier question, PS functions went GA November 2019. Yeah, they did go GA.
Oops, that's definitely not what I want.
Thank you, Corey.
And then account ID. I believe the account ID... Connect AZ account, access token, and account ID. Let's see, can we find that anywhere else? Account ID. Oh, look at that. Connect using managed service identity, login, and client ID. There you go. So, so connect AZ account, we need the dash identity switch.
Go back a little bit. I think there's a function that does. I'm going on the PowerShell docs that they had there. Get AZ user assigned identity. Blah blah blah.
We don't want a user assigned one. We're using a regular one.
No. We're using the mouse identity.
So then, yeah, the client ID. So yeah, the account ID is. It's interesting too. This doesn't even look like. Connect AZ account identity. This doesn't even look like it's using.
Connecting.
Doesn't even look like we need an access token. It just says identity. So I wonder if we just did... Let's leave this here for a minute. Oops.
And if got blah, identity?
Account ID, and then we did... I'm sure there's a way programmatically to get the ID, but I also have it on a sticky note, so I'm just going to go grab it. So this is the identity. Here.
Is that the identity of the mouse identity?
Yep. I wonder if that's all we need. I wonder if we don't even need to go get an access token on our own.
Oh, right. You need to remove the identity on the Connect AZ account, right?
No, that's the switch that says it is a managed identity.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So then this would be a get, get as account?
As a subscription.
Do I need to do a right host here? I don't think so. It's just get AZ. Is it get AZ account? Is that what it is? Get AZ.
It's not just AZ account list.
Oh no, it is AZ subscription.
Enable to acquire token.
Okay, that's fine. The get,
that's the Microsoft
get
one.
dash AZ subscription. We'll just set the body equal to that and return it. Just for the moment, just to see what we get. All right, test run. Run.
Wow, that would be super easy if that's all we need to do to access the identity there.
Yeah, that would be super cool if it does it all automatically.
Although programmatically getting the account ID would be awesome because you might be running with a different mouse identity, right?
Yep. Although, is that identity available in one of the environment variables? Oh, look at that. It worked. We don't even need an access token. So we just spent a bunch of time doing work that we don't need. But that's cool because that means we can delete things.
It's always nice deleting stuff. Check that out. We need tiny stuff there.
So maybe
Okay.
maybe you were correct in that it would be faster had we used it correctly.
Ah.
Okay, so this gives us a list of Azure subscriptions. That's cool.
But do we not only need the subscription ID? So technically, we should just return an array of subscription IDs.
Yeah. Subscription ID. Probably need the tenant ID too.
Yes. Spinning.
Lord, let's not make any synchronous calls though.
What happened?
What
happened?
I don't know.
Did not pipe the. Seems it hasn't piped the right stuff in the.
Yeah, select subscription ID, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, get AZ subscription, select subscription. Although I'm not signed in, it's going to tell me I'm not signed in. Yeah. I'm going to do this. Let's see. Device login. Code. Come on. Alright. Find a phone that's going to work.
First world problems. Too many phones.
Knowing which one is expecting you to fill in a thing is the hard part. 42. Okay. All right, you have signed in. Cool. Okay. Nice. But do I have subscriptions yet? Probably not, because it must have bombed when it was trying to. Yeah. Okay. Is it tenant name? Tenant ID? Yeah, I'll just do that because that one looks good. So it looks like I've already done it anyway. So. Okay, device login. Ta-da! Ta-da! There we go.
Ta-da-da-da. Okay.
Okay, sign in. Now I'm signed in. Cool. And device authentication is required. Nice. I love this kind of stuff. I guess we'll just go use regular PowerShell because maybe I'm still authenticated over there. Jesus. It's ridiculous. All right. Get AZ subscription. Please be signed into something. Nope. Connect AZ account. And this one I get to sign in with this, I guess. Well, AZ Wildfire, what's all the complaint? I mean, I don't want to do all this, but I have to, apparently, to use PowerShell because, you know, it would have been faster, so much faster and easier. Clearly.
You tell him AZ Wildfire.
Is it going to work? Or is it going to pop up another 19 windows for me to sign into? I mean, PowerShell is almost like Visual Studio at this point with how many authentication prompts you get. It's crazy. See?
Wow, another one.
Oh, and this one didn't work. That's superb. Because I'm not a user, even though it thinks I'm a user in a different account, I'm not. Or in a different tenant, I'm not, and it won't get rid of it. So it looks like something worked. So get as subscription pipe select subscription ID. Okay. Even though the pipe didn't work. What am I missing? Why is that not working? Am I not doing the pipe right? Get AZ subscription. Select object. Subscription ID, right?
What the? Why are you getting unable to acquire token for tenant blanc?
Because it.
Okay.
So what? But this is still not. I don't understand why it's not. Why the select isn't working. There's nothing in there. Okay, so I get AZ subscription and pipe that into select. Is dollar under. I guess I just don't get it. So subs, get AZ subscription. So then subs select subscription ID. Yeah, I don't understand this at all. Apparently maybe I don't know how to. I mean, it's an array.
PowerShell.
It's an array, right? So do you not pipe those in to a select?
I am not a PowerShell guru. I would probably.
It's an array, so.
Can you do subs 0?
Well, I don't want just one though.
No, I know that. Like, is that the way that you would access it? And then from there, can you do a select 0? Subs 0, and then select from there specific property. Oh, excuse me. Damn, man. I'm already drinking coffee. Why am I yawning? It's definitely not boring, this one. I'm enjoying it.
Select object command that selects specified properties of an object or set of objects. It can also select unique objects with a specific number or objects in a specified position in an array. To select objects from the collection, use the first, last, unique, skip, and add and index parameters. Yeah, that's what we've been doing, right? So I got my subscription.
Oh, it says never seen it done with underscore variable name. Do you need to have a do you need to pipe it into a new object where you do colon and then you put into a curly bracket? Holy shit, that was it?
Yeah, I'm an idiot, obviously. Apparently I need to write more PowerShell. Okay.
Fun times.
I don't like PowerShell.
So if our skills in PowerShell were any better, this would have been a 5-minute deal.
That's what it's looking like. So we should get back one because this managed identity only has access to a single one.
Right.
Okay.
Did it come back?
It did, but it still came back with all this.
Oh, on the other one, you did a get out of subscription. You assigned it to a variable, and then you select it from the variable rather than directly.
Well,
but that shouldn't make
that shouldn't matter
right?
now. In fact, I think the last time. Oh no, maybe not. get az subs. That shouldn't matter at all. But I mean, who knows? It might, but I doubt it does. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Yep. All right. Good. So we have our subscription. I think the only other thing we need is 10. I don't think we need tenant actually. So we need our subscription ID.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back over
and the tenant
let's get
ID,
back
right?
over to our code. So this is our scanner.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna do the? Should we do the whole scanner in there, in PowerShell?
Probably not. Although you could. Oh, that's a good idea. You can have the PowerShell running on a timer, and then scan and tag.
So essentially, we get a list of subscriptions here.
Mm-hmm.
And then in each one of those subscriptions,
Can have resources. So we need to do a get resources for that.
so we want to find resources where there is not. So let's see, get as resource. We want to get them where a specific tag does not exist.
Yeah.
Tag
name. Well, tag name, right?
Tag name. Tag.
Do you need to get all the tags? Tag specify parameter. Try again. So you need to pass a parameter. Can you do get AZ resource tags?
No. Damn. Easy tag. Oops. So get AZ tag. Let's see what detailed gives us, if anything.
Is it because we haven't passed the resource ID?
What would we need that for?
Okay, I'm just trying to understand what you're trying to do here.
No, I'm saying, like, what would the resource ID give us? Because we want to find every resource in here, right? So
yep. Mm-hmm.
Get AZ tag. This should show us all of our tags. Okay.
Ah, nice. Okay, perfect.
So we have expires. So then get AZ resource.
Mm-hmm. Now you're telling us AZ wildfire? It's too late, man. We're moved past that. But thanks for the support. I'm just kidding. We are noobs when it comes to using PowerShell.
So I want to get the resource where the expires tag does not exist. And it seems like if it's doing a count here, then that would lead me to believe it has that. So get AZ tag. Let's try a detailed. What does that give us?
Nothing.
Okay. So get AZ tag.
It would be like get Azure Resources where AZ tag not in. Something like that, right? Or get all the resources where the tag not in blah.
Yeah, I don't want to have to pull them all down up front, you know? So tags. What's
DAS and EQ?
Hang on, let's look at this tags table and see what's in there.
What? That's insane. What is that? Okay. Why does he have so many blanks in there? What happened?
I guess the resources that don't have a tag. That's my guess anyway.
Oh, so it turns an empty area. And that's a little bit weird, but fine.
But
Damn. Hidden.
interestingly, I don't see our.
We can't see ours. Yeah.
Well, it's every resource, right? So we want to get
Mm-hmm.
AZ resource, and we want the type, resource type, to be a resource group. There we go. So Microsoft.resources.
Says resource health.
Resource graph, resources.
Resources. Oh, there.
Oh, but I want groups.
Oh. That's not right.
All right, let's see. Oh, wait.
Check this out. Did some PS tags work last week? You used contains to filter things. You can use contains.
Okay. So on the VM, if the properties, the tags property contains that key, so it's a hash table.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
Well, see, this one is doing a get all the resources for the resource ID. So it's doing the reverse. It's checking all the tags for the resource. So do we need to loop for every resource and then check if it has tags? And if not, then mark it for tagging? Looks like it, right? So we need to get all the resources.
So where?
Mm-hmm.
Let's come back over here. So let's see. This is where the properties tag properties contains the key of one of the tags.
So what they're doing here is first they get the VM, or they get the VMs, and then they for each VM or for each resource they get the ID, and then they get the tags. Sorry, they get it for each VM. They get the tags.
This gets the tag on. Yeah. So I want every. Well, if we did it that way, then it'd be something like get. We need to get the resource group.
Mm-hmm.
And then. Yeah. So then.
Oh, wait a minute. Are we tagging the resource or the resource group?
Resource group.
So in that case, we don't have to get the resources. We just have to get the resource groups.
Well, but you could tag it whatever granularity you would like, right?
True. Yeah. But right now we are tagging at the resource group level, right? Is required to, and operators. I think it's tags. Oh, I think it's inferred, but it's fine.
So tags is a hash table.
Can you do a select tags and see what happens out on that, just to make sure that it works? Oh.
Oh, I set it to a variable. Sorry.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so that works. Cool.
But I want to do a contains key on it, which is for a table. So
It should be a where, right? Not a select. Oh, you can do select first. Yeah, okay. No, you need to do where. Okay.
But let's see, where tags tags.keys. I wonder if that even works. Let me do a select on this. Nope, that doesn't work. Oops, didn't need to have that there. What is tags table? Oh, I think that's an action.
Is that empty?
So now the way that Callaway's looking at it is he's looking at the properties and then the tags properties. That's some sort of like a oh, he's doing a get AZ tag on it. So
Yeah.
if we were to then do a get AZ tag on that. Yeah, okay. And then do a select on tags dot, or let's see. Properties, tags, property contains key expires. Oops.
Oh, wait. No. So your properties have your properties is a hash table, right? Where's the tags? So select properties.
To PS
There you
tags
go.
object.
Yeah.
So
Properties dot name.
Sure, properties dot name, but
Try that and see what happens.
nope.
Whoa. What is a PS tag object? How do we get access to the underlying resources? What is the first one? Tags client? Expand property. Oh, Bolt.io says that's expand property. Specify parameter. Okay. Name?
So properties, tag properties. Can I do both of them? I guess not. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's the tags property. Tags property.
Your expand property needs to be fixed as well, isn't it?
So it's an. Oh, right. Okay. Tags property. Nope.
I think it's tags properties dot. So properties dot tag properties dot tags property. See, the object is properties dot tags property, and then okay.
Unless I don't need it here. Is the tags property a separate object?
Property cannot be processed because the property tags property already exists. What?
Let's try this instead. Expand properties.
Is that expand property or expand properties?
Okay.
Okay.
So when we do this expand, this comes up with something called a tags property, right? Sorry, it's called tags property.
I don't think you have access to that. What?
Maybe I don't need to do an expand at that point. Sorry, it's
Nope.
tags property. No, that doesn't work either. What the hell is this? I mean, because the way Callaway's got it in here, so he's got his VM properties, or sorry, he gets his tags, right?
Yeah.
And he's got the VM properties tags property contains key. I'm just going to try that straight up.
Piping RGs into get AZ tag. If you're doing it as a one-liner, piping won't you lose the resource name?
I guess there probably aren't any like navigation properties to get back up, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see. Properties.tags property. Yeah, like you would think. But this doesn't give us anything.
No.
This is empty. But if we do an expand on properties.
What's the end goal that you're trying to get? We're trying to get all the resources that don't have the expires tag.
Yeah, I'm trying to find resources that are missing missing expires. Yeah, so I can do this expand, but I can't seem to get back to it. You know what I mean? Like, so then what do I have in this projection? Can I then get to each one of these objects and get like
Select name.
a name?
Select name.
I don't know if it's name, but nope. Like what's in here?
It's an array. It's an object with an array.
It's an object. It's a hash table, I think. Well, but I don't know.
It's a hash table. Okay.
So let's do this. I probably don't even need to do that, but. It's an object array.
Okay.
And then. Is there a.
Today's with Corey to see who comes back with the. Missing an argument first. Specify the parameter. Nothing.
Oh, right, because the first one doesn't have anything on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Is that a zero-based or a one-based array? Seems like it's a one-based array. No, it's a one-based array. Huh. Why does this? Oh, it selects the first 6. Yeah.
So what is this type?
Ah, we got it.
So what is this type? A PS tags object. Okay, so let me go. Let's go see what's in our PS tags object. This is ridiculous. What? PS tags object. Okay.
Computer says no. Computer says no.
PS tags object.
Wow. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen 3 results in Google. What? That's insane. There's no examples. Are we the first ones to ever use it? Not even the docs?
PS tags object. How are there no results here?
Computer says no, man.
So what have we learned today? Don't use PowerShell for this.
No, I think you're being over dramatic.
Well, here's what I know.
We can find it.
Here's what I know.
I think it's because you're trying to do everything in one line.
I'm not trying to do.
I'm not. I
mean, okay, all right. So I get. Let's say so groups. Get AZ resource group. Okay.
Groups, isn't it? Or do you mistype it? Is it get dash AZ resource group?
It is. Get AZ resource group. Okay. So then, what? For each G in groups.
Yeah, be verbose.
Get AZ tag resource ID is G.ID. That's super useful. Okay, resource ID is g.id. Okay, that didn't work. G dot
Is null or empty.
G dot resource ID. Okay, so that goes and gets the tags, and then what? So then, so let's see. So RG tags is that, and then what? For each RG tag in RG tags. I want to find every resource group that does not have, that's missing a tag. Alex. That's
Alex,
the goal.
thanks for joining us, buddy.
Yeah. That's the goal.
For those of us impatiently trying to see what this blows up, may you remind us that what your end goal is. Okay, right. Yeah, we're trying to get all the resources that don't have a specific tag.
No. So, yeah, this is it's pretty ridiculous. I'm trying to do it with I'm just trying to do PowerShell to do it because somebody told me it would be a lot easier. I won't say who. And it's been exactly what it looks like, which is a complete nightmare. So
it was easy wildfire. He told me that PowerShell is everything.
Yeah. So anyway, the short version is we essentially want to end up with. I want to be able to get a list of all resource groups that are missing a specifically named tag.
Yeah.
And preferably.
May I suggest a resource graph? Oh. What?
Is there any resource graph on? Let's see. Is there? Let's see. Azure Resource Graph.
Alex, you can suggest whatever you want. We're always open to suggestions. Azure.
All right, so operations. Let's see, we have a list resources. Oh, there's a preview. It looks like it's in much better shape. What kind of query can we do? Okay, so we have facet request, query request options, query.
I wonder when the bus was coming.
Which bus is that? The short one? Let's see. Do we have any sort of resource graph explorer in the portal? Do we have that now?
Oh, here's an example: creating resource groups containing a specific tag, where tags property. Oh, that's Alex. Tags project orchestrator tags project.
Do we have anywhere that we can do these? Is there any sort of a designer, or not designer, but a place where we can do these queries? It looks like it's in policy, so we'll try it here.
By the way, we need to end the stream on time today because we have prep work to do for our divisional call, which means that we're probably gonna finish on a anticlimax because we're not gonna have the PowerShell working unless JP can get it done in 8 minutes.
Oh, I'm completely pulling the ripcord on PowerShell. We could have been done already. I'm never doing that again.
No.
Nope, not doing it. I mean, it's super slow. It's taking an age to burn 2 or an hour and a half a time just trying to make it JIT. No, absolutely not. Not going to happen. So where tag expires doesn't exist. Let's see. Where? All right, so in KQL. Just get this out of the way here. Yeah, we can leave that. So in KQL not exists.
It's the first time I come across KQL. My mind is blown right now. What is KQL? Query?
Custo query language, I think.
So, right, okay.
So Alex is saying query for all RGs outer join the ones containing the tag and then skip it. Yeah, let's try.
Tag expires equals null.
Yeah, we try that. Why not?
Or tags. So we don't need the rest of it, right?
No.
Okay. We'll check name and subscription ID. Let's see what happens. Please provide below info. Query is invalid.
Is it is? Is null. There we go. Although that looks like a method. Where is null? Does it expect tags dot expires in here? Nope.
Do you not need two closing brackets there for the is null?
Ah, there you go. There we go.
Oh,
So
snap.
that's giving me the subscription ID. Of course, we don't really need... I guess we do need the subscription ID. And the...
All in one call. And the resource group name, right? The...
well, we've got that right here. Here they are.
Oh, we do. Okay. Do we need the ID of the resource? No, just the resource group name, right? That is a lot of stuff that you're going to wipe out. Okay.
Well, some of these... Remember, my permissions are going to be different from the other, right? So
Yes.
my permissions
Yep.
has all this extra stuff on here. I don't even know what half of this is. So, yeah. So there are all of the...
Resource groups that don't have tags. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, and then if we were to flip this up and do a
Contains.
is not null, that will give us the ones that have already been tagged.
Perfect.
Yep.
So how do we run this Azure Resource Graph Query? How do we run it?
We have to run it via API, I would assume.
Oh,
Which is
I
the-
guess you need to, or on the other tags too, in case just one tag has been deleted.
Management.azure.com.
Careful with one thing, tag keys are case sensitive. Thanks, Alex.
Yep. Thanks, Alex.
Man, this is crowdsourcing for the win. Where were you, Alex, 2 hours ago when we started going down the wrong path? Oh, Corey came back with an answer as well. Let's see what his answer is.
Private queries, let's save
Made it
this,
work.
although that hopefully wouldn't be too hard to replicate, but
Spire stack project.
yep. Cool. Okay. So we got to go because we have a bunch of meetings for the rest of the afternoon. So maybe I'll get to eat lunch. I
Ditto.
might get to eat lunch at like 3 o'clock, I think. So we're gonna go because we got to go do a bunch of other meetings and actual work today. We'll be back Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, we'll be back then. Anything good coming up on Thursday outside of more of this?
We'll get some announcements, some releases, and this one. Before our October blows out, because we have so many guests coming over the next coming shows, that it will be a challenge to get any more work done on this one. So I'm looking forward to Thursday, and then from next week I think we have a heap of guests coming, a parade of guests coming.
All right.
So
Cool.
yeah, thanks everyone.
Hey, we're gonna run over to.
We'll try to
let's-
put this in a blog post. I'll try actually to come up with the PowerShell solution, even as a standalone Azure function that does it. I think that would be great.
We love you too, as AZ Wildfire.
Yeah, I will love you too, AZ Wildfire.
All right, we're gonna go raid. Let's go to Microsoft Developer. See you, everybody.
Yep.